Get out of here.
I can't remember the last time you said I love you.
Right.
Right? That's a terrible thing.
Why is that so terrible?
Sex. This is your opportunity to talk openly about whatever conflicts do come up over the issue of sex.
Frequency.
Yeah.
Frequency.
The other thing that he doesn't give me enough of is affection. I don't get kisses, I don't get hugs.
Even when we were dating, I was more affectionate, but I don't think I was real affectionate.
No, you were only affectionate because you were trying to woo me.
Yeah, well.
And you needed to be affectionate in order to get me to like
Part
you.
of the game.
And believe me, you needed all
The dating game.
I chased you from this door saying, I need your help. I need your help. And you just walked out on me, and then you slammed the door on top of it.
Stop chasing me.
No, I'm going to chase you. I want you to stop and help me get ready.
It's not politically correct, really, nowadays, to think that men and women are different. That does a complete disservice, I think, to what is truly the case. They are different.
Tonight we're going to try something a little different. It's for everyone who's in a relationship, ever had a relationship, or ever wanted a relationship. It's for women and men who wish relationships came with an instruction manual, and that's almost all of us. And almost all of us have heard of the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, by John Gray. It's been on the bestseller list for 4 years and sold more hardcover copies in the 90s than any book except the Bible. We wanted to know if the ideas about improving relationships that so many people had paid $25 a copy to discover would really help. So we came up with an experiment. Last fall, we placed an advertisement in 12 newspapers. This ad. We were looking for couples who were willing to reveal to us, as we say in the ad, the fun, excitement, and embarrassment of their relationships, and to do it for free. Believe it or not, we got hundreds and hundreds of responses. We started narrowing them down until we ended up with 6 couples, all from different backgrounds. None of them had read John Gray's book before we started. Tonight you will get to know them even better than you know some of your best friends, because they share their struggles with sex, romance, listening, arguing, all with a candor that sometimes make you wonder why they let us in. But they did. We often got the women together to talk candidly to each other about the men, and we also asked the men to talk to each other about the women. Then last January, we invited our couples to a seminar that we set up with the author John Gray. Gray believes that men and women are so different in the ways they communicate that they might as well be from different planets. And that leads to all sorts of misunderstandings. And that leads to so many of the problems that can make relationships a struggle. If we understand the differences, Gray says, bliss. Okay, maybe not bliss. Maybe ceasefire. And that's where our experiment comes in. Do those ideas make sense in real lives? Could they help you? You'll find out tonight. But let's start at the beginning with the 6 couples whom we first met almost a year ago.
My name's Arthur Cutler. I work as a letter carrier.
Hi.
18 years and I haven't shot anybody yet.
How about Winnie the Pooh? Come on. Hi, I'm Sandy Cutler. Married almost 6 years. I try to get some things out of him, and I say, let's talk about it. Let's, to open him up. And it's like, pulling teeth. It's very, very difficult.
I think we have decent communication.
I wish we could talk more about my feelings and his feelings.
Well, you love me now, right?
Yeah.
All right, so.
That's the difference, Arthur. You have to constantly see. Now, that's the whole philosophy. That's man, Mars, man, Mars, man, Mars.
I saw natural gas up at 5 this morning.
My name is Bruce Terry. I own my own investment management firm. My wife will call me and say, "It's 6 o'clock. you know, where are you? And I'm, oh, geez, I need another hour. And sometimes you might just stare at the wall.
It's all right if you get messed up, right?
I'm pretty much full-time momming right now, living in suburbia. It was something I thought I'd never do, you know, sort of, I am my mother.
The minute I walk in the door, there's an agenda, and I know, like, if there's a delayed amount of time, all of a sudden I hear, oh, you're coming up?
Let's not become this guy who's just, honey, where's my food? Because that's not going to happen in this house.
Chinese food's here.
It's also easy to feel submissive in these roles of the man who works and the woman who stays home. And I resent that because I don't really think it's very respectful.
Eve, you just ignored me.
Why? Why?
You just ignored me. You always do that.
What did you say?
My name is Marie Michelle. I'm employed as an attorney and my husband is a civil engineer.
My name is Yves Benesh, which is a French name. My background is like, there's no such thing as divorce and things like that.
Let's go.
A handy little thing to know.
So I will work at anything to make my marriage work. Not that it's not working, it's working fine.
Sometimes I don't want to talk about whatever you're bringing up to me. I know I do that. You know I do that too.
If this relationship were a car, we would be somewhere in between. Major repairs and a complete overhaul.
Okay, here, Daddy's cutting you some chicken right now, buddy. I'm Mike Pilati. I'm a sales manager for the 9X Corporation. I have a 17-month-old son who's up every morning at 7 o'clock, so I don't know how to sleep late anymore.
I get very angry a lot of times because I ask him like 3 times, 4 times sometimes to do something, and he just doesn't do it. And I really feel like he's neglecting me, like I'm a second-class citizen, like I don't matter. I feel that I do a lot. I mean, I work full-time just as well as he does.
My job is, I feel, definitely is harder than yours, Fran.
Well, that's an egotistical statement.
Well, not necessarily, okay? I mean, you're even though you do teach, okay, you do get out and home usually by 3. I still have 3 more hours of my job still left.
You spend an entire day with 27 children pulling at your leg, saying, can I have a drink and go to the bathroom? And see how much patience you have left by 3 o'clock.
You at least can come home and relax.
I come home and I take care of a child.
Yes, you do.
If you call that relax, and any woman in America can relate to me.
Tonight there was a 8-mile backup because of a tractor-trailer accident, so...
Tomorrow night it'll be a 50-mile backup and he's not even going to come home.
Now, come on. Give me a break. My name's Pat Mickey. Been married 13, 14 years now.
We also have 2-career family, although I only work 3 days a week.
I'm not good about calling. I'm an unstructured person.
My husband uses the excuse, oh, well, you know I'm bad at communications. Like, that's going to make it okay? That's really the crap.
The fact that I really should have called and taken the wrath of shit that I would get when I called you anyway. I didn't want to have to deal with that. I guess that's really subconsciously what it is
escalating for me at home. The longer and longer and longer it goes on, you're sitting there going, God.
How come I get in the glass cup with Tweety Bird on it? You know I don't like those cups.
I'm Sandra Friedman. My husband Bob and I have been married 12 years. He wants me to make time for him, and I can't just say, well, I'm going to retire from being a mother.
It's always beautiful when it's new, but after so many years, you find that the connection is just never there.
We are living separate lives in this house. He lives his life, I live my life, and we occasionally meet in the kitchen and the bedroom.
I wouldn't ever want to look for somebody else who was better because there is nobody who's better. You know, it's just, in our situation, I definitely believe there's a lot we can work on. I just don't know how to do it, and I can't read a book to learn how to do it, and
I responded to the ad in the paper because I was at my wit's end and I needed something to really help us.
We had really reached like an impasse in our relationship because it was the old, you know, we can't change.
Mike was kind of anti-counseling and all that other stuff.
We were looking for better ways to communicate.
I figured I wasn't going to have anything to talk about, that I wouldn't be able to open up and discuss my feelings because I'm a guy. As it went on, you realize that you have everything in common with everybody else in the room.
The lady called and said, are you ever romantic or something like that? And I thought, geez, what is romantic?
Nobody really romances their wives the way they first met her. That's like a past history. That would be great. How do you get back to that feeling and evolve that?
Before you got married, you thought about doing those things, and they were important to you.
For you.
Absolutely, but again, now that you're married and you're evolving now, and things do change, you do start taking for each other for granted.
Oh, romance? Oh, romance is a good word. Not in our marriage, but it is in others. I'm just kidding.
I don't feel the need for romance all the time. I don't need to be wined and dined and romance.
So what you're saying is you're getting plenty of it. You're getting enough. You're getting your share.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
What is romantic? I would say it's just looking at my wife's eyes and she melted me like a marshmallow. You know?
Do you tell her?
Do I tell her that? I don't know. I think there's a sort of silence between us that is a communication.
I can't remember the last time you said I love you.
Right.
Right? That's a terrible thing.
Why is that so terrible?
Oh, it's like, why should Bruce waste time running out at the mouth or any? He's very efficient with everything. So it's like there's an underlying, acceptance. Okay, you love me? Yeah, I love you. Okay, you love me? Yeah, I love you too.
If I say to him on the phone, I love you, he'll say, me too.
Maybe she's just not confident enough, and maybe if she had those feelings, I wouldn't have to be as reassuring about my love for her.
She wants more affection than I could supply her, as far as saying, I love you all the time. If you say it once in a while, I think it's twice as effective as saying it all the time. And it gets me out of saying it all the time.
I'll see the guy with his wife and how he treats her, opens the door, puts a jacket on, honey this, sweetheart that, lovey-dovey, cookie-wookie. And I'm going, this guy's going to make me throw up all over myself in 2 seconds if he says another thing like this. But then I notice the response that they have, and it's like, I just say there's something to it.
I never get flowers anymore because he says, once you ask, you don't get. If you don't ask, you get. Well, meanwhile, I don't ask. And I don't get.
I don't understand the value of flowers. Flowers die. To me, it doesn't do anything. To me.
But to her,
she lets me have it for not getting her flowers.
Even when I gave birth to Maddie, I didn't get flowers.
Boy, you're hitting me with this stuff now. Wow.
I mean, God giving birth to your child is an occasion to give to,
Oh, birthdays.
Oh, I've gotten some flowers for my birthday the last few years.
The way I make things work out in my own mind is I like to buy her things.
I'm just like you. I like to buy big things. Like for my wife, like on Valentine's Day, a 1996 Ford Explorer. All right? She's like, oh, is that for me? I said, yeah, that's yours. She's like, oh, she loves me. For a week. That lasted a week.
He thinks that being romantic is a big present. For example, I don't know, for Valentine's Day, a car, and I'm thinking just taking me to Central Park on a carriage ride would have been better. And he says, then a car? And I said, yes, Eve. I just think that once you're married, the definition of romance completely changes.
At every red light, remember that? We'd have to kiss at every red light when we were driving. And we would hold hands all the time. And now to hold his hand, it's only like to clip his nails or something. I mean, that might be the only time I get to hold his hand.
Let's face it, when you're courting, that word you use, you're really only doing what you feel the other person would want you to do by also putting in as much of yourself as possible without looking like a total schmuck.
I call it false advertising. you present yourself in your dating years as this like super sensitive, super, caring person, and then, it's the courtship ends.
This weekend is like the anniversary weekend. That's mean tonight I gotta take my wife to a nice dinner. Make the best out of it, yeah. And believe me, after dinner, no sex.
Hi.
Hey, sweetheart. Happy anniversary. Thank you. You look nice.
Thank you.
It's a nice car, Dee.
Oh, of course, of course.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's go upstairs.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What was that? What was that?
I was counting the beautiful roses you brought me, honey.
That's not enough?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. I'm going to be missing Monday Night Football.
Oh, brother. Look how Papa dressed you. Come here.
Let me take a quick peek. Take your time, Mimi.
No, Eve. You said 7:38. I'm ready to go,
1 second.
Eve has his coat on. We're ready.
Give me 10 more minutes, all right?
No, because I'm ready.
Nice catch. You know what? I wouldn't trade you for the world.
You wouldn't?
No. I'll do it all over again.
You would? Yeah. 6 years later?
6 years later. You hit it? Eve? You hit it? What is that, Eve? Are you ready for the football?
I thought, during this tender moment, you killed
Okay.
You just killed the mood. When we go out on our anniversary, I have all these high expectations that Eve's gonna act.
Which I am, sweetheart. Come
a certain way. And then he acts the same old way.
Come on, don't even say that. Come on.
Okay, for you to understand what I'm talking about, I want you to be corny.
That's hard. That's very hard.
But I've just told you what I want.
I know exactly what you're telling me. I know exactly what you want, and that's not easy.
Eve, the night we got married, you had no problems with being that way. You made all these promises to me.
Of course.
That's corny.
Of course.
I know Eve loves me. I know he does. But I wish he would show it in my language. I think for Eve to feel loved, he needs romance every night.
The same way that I can deal with a lack of love making, that's the same way she can deal with a lack of corniness from my part, I guess.
You get sex every now and then.
Like that once every 2 months?
No, I would say twice a month.
I come to a point where it was so bad, I had a calendar right next to my head. I used to check when we're making love.
We have no problem with that.
Oh, you have a problem.
I do not have a problem. What do you mean I have a problem? I have a problem for you? We do our little once a week thing, and sometimes it could be a little bit more, and sometimes it's less. And I always say to him, Arthur, didn't we just do it the other night or something? And he's like, no, it's been weeks.
And then I just say, well, I might have to work a little bit on it tonight.
But then once we get going, I'm always very happy, and he's very happy too. The outcome is always very happy, right?
Always happy.
Arthur, please tell me that.
I'm always happy.
Okay.
I'm a typical male, ready at the drop of a hat to jump into bed and make love.
To him, if he could have sex every night, then. But sleep is a commodity too.
Sex before Matthew was, let's have sex a lot, of course.
All right, get all that energy out.
But now that, we're too tired anymore.
Okay, Daddy's getting hot and tired. All right, Daddy's tired.
Let's say 4 times a month. You could have it twice in 2 nights and make up for the whole month. No.
It takes a toll, I think, on your sexuality when you have children. And not for some, but I think for the vast majority of women, it's a period of time where there's an adjustment. I don't know. I haven't personally come out of that period.
At least half the time, I'm just going to make love to him because so he could, he can be satisfied, and that's fine with me. And then afterwards, for him to ask you, was that really good? And I'm just sort of like, do you really want me to do that? And I hate that question.
My wife and I are definitely passionate to each other. It's just that the sex part of it is sort of been, is taking a secondary role. I know the passion's there.
I don't think sex for women is the same as it is for men. It's less physical, more emotional.
When we were first married, I was the one all over the place. The kitchen, knock everything over, jump on the counter, and he doesn't seem to remember those things.
How do you get the passion back? Because I would love that.
I need to be paid attention to.
Right.
I don't like that I don't like the switch thing. You ignore me all day, and now it's nighttime, you've sort of rediscovered me. No.
If you're going to nitpick and be obnoxious and then want to have this wonderful, affectionate stuff, it's not going to happen. It's just like you turn it on and off.
I say that the brain is the most important sex organ, and he laughs at me when I say that.
Romance is so important to them. It's and it's got to be from number 1 through number 10. No screwing around with the numbers. And it's like with a man, 1, 2, 10. You know what I'm saying? And then we feel like $1 million, and we look at them, and they're going like, what happened to 3? 4? It's like, and you just go, well, what's the difference? You don't understand.
Let me tell you one thing.
Should I stop what I'm doing for this? Okay,
Yes,
wait.
you should. Yes, you should.
Okay.
I love you.
I know that, honey. You can love someone by saying it, but on a daily basis, you have to show them. And how else can you show me in a home setting other than help me?
How am I overall?
In terms of helping me?
Yeah.
On a score of 1 to 10.
On a score of 1 to 10.
2. Oh! You asked me, Eve, that's how I feel. You don't do anything on a regular basis.
You see, that hurt.
You do it when I ask
really
you.
Hurt.
about sweeping this floor and mopping this floor.
But I have to beg you.
Who's been doing it?
I have to beg you.
She feels like she does everything, like I don't do anything. Which sometimes it does get to me, because I feel like I do a lot.
I would say it's done 50-50.
And I won't agree with that, so. I'll say 75% me, 25% him.
Sorry to hear that, Fran. You really feel that, huh?
Yes, I do. Who takes Matthew to the babysitter in the morning?
You do that, but that's...
Who picks Matthew up?
You do that, but why?
Who takes care of Matthew when he's sick? Most of the time.
Both of us.
Most of the time.
Both of us.
Who takes care of Matthew when he's sick, Mike?
Both
Most
of
of the time. Who buys Matthew his diapers?
Tell me I've never bought diapers for Matthew.
When?
Huh? Tell me I've
When
never
was the
bought
last time?
diapers for Matthew.
When was the last time?
When was the last time I did?
Think very carefully.
Probably about 4 weeks ago, I'll be honest with you, but I've done it.
Not 4 weeks ago.
Picked up the kids at the school bus, that was a point. Feed them lunch and clean up the kitchen, a point. I cleaned the chandeliers and the glass sconces, and I gave myself 3 points for that because I had asked you to clean that chandelier about 6 months ago and it still wasn't clean.
Well, I put down work as being 20 points.
But I worked one of these days too. Why is my work less of value than yours?
I earn more.
Ah. Uh-huh.
I view myself as the primary breadwinner. That level of stress is much greater, I think, to me than it is for you. I feel like I'm on a treadmill, and the treadmill keeps going faster and faster and faster. And there's a point where I'm just going to run out of gas and I'm going to fall off that damn treadmill or have a heart attack.
Hi, Or. When he comes home, I ask him to do this, that, and the other thing, and he goes like, Sandy, I just got home. I need a break. I'm like, but when do I get my break? Like, look what I'm doing and look what he's doing right now.
I work all day.
Because, you know, that really, or...
It's tough for me to do the laundry
He
because
thinks
I'm out of the
that I
house all
don't
day.
stay, because I stay home with Maddie, that I'm not working, per se.
God forbid I come home and say, you know, Maddie's really fussy today. She's just very clingy. He's like, well, you're the one who chose to do this. I'm like, I'm not saying I don't love it, but you complain about your job. Sometimes I can have a little say.
They don't think it's a job.
They don't think it's a job.
I try to motivate my husband to do more by telling him he has to.
When you say something, you're a nag and you're a nudge. Right. And I wouldn't nag and nudge if you would just do.
We get up in the morning, chores have to be done right away, okay? So whether I like it or not, I have to do it. We will turn into a little bit of an argument between us, but it gets done. You agree?
By then my day is ruined because I'm already aggravated. But other than that...
Okay. It makes me feel like I'm back in my mother's house, where you live under your mother's rules. And it makes it very difficult, and that will tend to make me procrastinate and then put it off. It's just like a child resisting authority.
That I'll say, look, if you spend a half a day doing this, tomorrow you can sit around and watch TV and read the paper all day.
The husband can have an entire day where they can sit and watch television? No way. I just won't allow it.
It's usually for a big thing, like, painting the whole ceiling in one of the kids' rooms or something. Not for something stupid.
Like taking out the garbage.
He doesn't do that. We don't even, that's another thing I caved in on years. No.
Kathy, you do take out the trash, and I don't think the men on the block think I wear a dress around the house because you take the trash out. So, big deal.
Okay, my wife tries to motivate me to do what she wants by withholding sex.
She does. She does.
You don't get it anyway.
All the time. I don't get it anyway. So
That's what she does. That is hitting below the belt.
Mommy's gonna brush your teeth. Mommy's gonna
Actually,
read
we
your
should make
story.
Papa do it tonight.
No, not me.
Why not?
It's almost 9 o'clock. My shoe's coming up soon.
Why don't you brush his teeth tonight and put his pajamas on? I need a break.
I'm playing
I've been
pool
at
with my
it
son
all
right now.
morning, nonstop.
I'm playing pool with my son right now.
You have 9 minutes. You should put the baby's pajamas on. Help me get him ready for bed. Maybe I can spend some quality time with you.
Eve, come on.
When I say that, he usually does what I want, but I can't abuse it because if I don't deliver, it doesn't work. If my husband did more, I would be more into entertaining the thought of having sex at night.
Sounds like almost like a reward.
It's not a reward. I just can't do it. I just can't. He's not willing to give up his relaxation, which is his free time watching television and doing nothing.
I don't know what she wants to get done. I'm asking her for a list. If you want me to do something for you, give me a list. Believe me, I think I can do it.
It would trouble me to give him a list, because if he loves me, if we have this meeting of the mind, a meeting of the heart, meeting of the soul that he thinks that we have, I shouldn't have to ask for those things.
Your concept is that I ought to read your mind, and I take a complete objection to that. I am not you, Kath.
And to spite you, I will
no.
not do
And
it.
if you tell me, and tell me nicely, you bet I'll do it. I'll bend over backwards to do it.
Trash stinks. There's dead fish in it. You know what? I'm getting tired of washing it. You've never washed it. So after your birthday, it's your turn.
Let me say, dear.
No, why isn't that fair? Why do I have to always wash the inside of the trash can?
Did I say you did?
No, you just said whatever you say, dear. That means, like, go jump in a lake.
You do it only when you want, and when I do it, you know what? I get criticized. I cleaned the master bathroom. When I finished cleaning it, what did you do?
I went
you
and cleaned
go
it.
no,
I went
you
and
go inside and you went like this. I look at the floor. There's like one string of hair on the floor. One string of hair, just one.
I've like risen the cleaning to a certain level, and I sort of expect
I'm
you
sorry. That's like the next level.
follow
That's like the PhD of cleaning. I'm sorry.
Vicky, that's a big issue for me. Like, if you only help
I'm
me...
glad it is for
and
you, maybe. Maybe it's not that much of a deal for me.
You missed a spot here, or you didn't do the back part of the house first when you should have done the front part. No matter what I do, it still isn't done right. I just totally redid the kitchen, cleaned it right up, made a lot more space for us and things like that. She came home, and her first response to me was, "Where was her blender?" You know, I was just like, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me."
The thing is, you will probably never do that again because it went unappreciated. I don't get appreciated for that's it. I don't do it again. Never.
What little that he does, he thinks it's wonderful. He thinks he's the hero. Sort of like wants to beat his chest. And I have to sort of like pat him on the shoulder and be affectionate to him for something, and I can't do it. I don't have it within me to do it because it's your responsibility. It needs to be done, and you have to do it.
One of your favorite things to do is just veg out in the other room, sit next to the fireplace, reading the paper.
Yeah.
And chaos could be going on around you, but as long as you...
It doesn't bother me.
Exactly. It doesn't bother you.
But it bothers you.
Right.
And for some reason, you want it to bother me too. And I don't understand that. I mean, why would you want me to become upset and disturbed by it?
I want you to help me.
No, I want you to chill out.
This is the one place that's mine, because I come here, I just hang out, especially this is my favorite chair in the whole house, believe it or not. And my wife never comes down here.
At the end of the day, you just want to come home and veg out. This is your home. This is the place you do it. You want to go from the living room because everybody's all around you to the bedroom, and then from the bedroom because everybody comes upstairs to building your own room. This sign comes from the Little Rascals, the He-Man Woman Haters Club. This is a very special room for me, and it's my room. In every other place in the house, you put something down, it's gone the next day. But in here, I know where everything is.
When I was younger, my dad had one of the bedrooms all to himself. But having that space where the kids really were sort of off limits was, something I always thought, God, what a great idea, This could be a decent space if you worked on it a little bit, but...
Well, go to it. These are your areas, the workbenches, the garage.
Well,
so
thank you. That's a real concession. Thank you. I get the furnace room and the garage. I think a lot of guys stay out of the house and pursue other goals because they don't really have a place to be in their house. That space, I think, is what all men ultimately are seeking. It's a sense of freedom.
Part of the reason I run is because I do know at that time it's totally solitary time for me.
I need my space. I mean, there's just, at some point, you've had enough of it all.
Oh, man, I can't believe they're going to say he was down. No way. My two favorite things to do are sleep and sports. Sunday, my clock is set for 5 to 1. No way. Jack has got the ball. That's when I wake up and I start watching sports.
Maddie, touchdown.
Go Giants. Go, go. Go Giants.
I could fall down and hit my head, but the Giants are on, and he'll still be watching the Giant game. Doesn't matter what team is on. If it's the Knicks, if it's the Rangers, the TV doesn't go off.
Has anyone ever experienced your wife just walking into the room and shutting off the TV in the middle of a football game or some game?
Absolutely.
I turn it off and then stand in front.
That's what I turn it off and I spread myself out in front of it.
It's just a stupid box. I mean, it's entertaining and everything, but it's like this is another person.
And how could you just put me off, shoo me away, and
mute you?
Yeah.
Where I have a problem is at nighttime, after the children are asleep, and there's a sitcom that I want to just veg out, and my wife will come in and say, I want to talk to you.
Do you talk to her for an hour and a half?
He listens.
Never.
He listens.
When I talk to my wife for an hour, well, which has never happened, like the longest, I think the first hour and a half I ever talked to her was like the day that I asked her to marry me.
If your wife wants to talk to you, what does she want to talk about?
Who knows?
She'll say, hey, let's talk about us. And my knee-jerk reaction is pick up the paper and read the paper.
It's boring a subject. I mean, I have nothing to talk about with us to her. I wouldn't even know what to say. If she said, let's talk about us, I would, what?
You know what's fun for me? Being able to tell you how I feel and have you listen. If I had to give Eve a grade as a listener, I'd give him a negative. I pour my heart out, I pour my soul out. And you half listen, or you hear me and you don't listen. I want to tell him the whole story. I want to tell him what my impressions are, what my predictions are. He really doesn't want to hear it.
Sometimes you'll say, can you get to the point? And I say, no, you'll have to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, but Diane, you have not edited your statement enough to
bring it forth to you, the Almighty,
right,
which demands edited statements.
To filter it down to the important points. You know, to sit here for like an hour and a half listening to some
Not
story
an hour and a half, and when,
that, well, you know, it starts out
it's usually
that way.
like 45 seconds.
Listen, when you start telling a story, well, I had to get the kids in the car, and as I got the kids in the car,
I've got to hear every minute detail. And then finally I say, well, what is it that you're trying to tell me here?
You decide whether what I'm about to say is important before I even said it.
So
and
what's
that's
wrong
not
with
a
that?
nice thing.
No, I mean, really, what's wrong with that?
It's not, because that's like pompous. You know what I mean? That's like insulting, and it's sort of.
I think insulting is a really harsh word. It's a little bit
it's not up
strong.
for you to determine the word, because I'm the one with the feeling. You see, so I get to determine what feeling it is.
My wife will talk about a lot of things which I have absolutely no interest in, what I consider to be, irrelevant to the big picture. What's the point? It just fills the space, right? I mean, we could do something else.
Hello. Here I am. I have a stressful day, say, and I just want to express what my day was like, or have somebody at least ask me, "How was your day today, honey?" You know, would just be nice, just to ask.
We've had this conversation in the past where, Arthur, it would be nice if you sort of asked me about my day.
What did you do today?
You know, ask me all that important talk show host question. How'd you feel about that?
What could you possibly tell me about your day that I'm going to have to sit down and listen to you for 20 minutes?
Arthur, you really should ask me my feelings.
I think
Were
you
you
would
upset?
flip if I ever asked you all the time.
I would love it.
I sort of know, like, when I'm listening, what she's going to say even before she says it.
Well, it's a sad day when all of a sudden we don't have to talk anymore as a married couple because you can just know what I'm thinking.
My husband says he's listening, but he's really off in outer space. I mean, no, I'm serious. I'll stop and I'll say, "What did I just say?"
I do that.
And he gets all, nervous and 9 times out of 10, he doesn't have any idea.
What you said at the end, I kind of tailed off on.
You weren't really paying attention.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what she said.
Well, he doesn't hear me. He has selective hearing.
This is true, I do sometimes.
I can stop in the middle of a sentence and say, my hair turned blue yesterday morning, and he won't say anything because he hasn't been listening.
Yeah, I'll start listening, and I'll like, okay, yeah. And by the time she's not even halfway there, I'm just like, forget this.
And at that point, your feelings get hurt, and you go, well, it's not even worth, forget it. It's not even worth, talking about. I will say, I don't need your advice. I just need you to listen. He will say, well, then don't bother me with your problems. 12 years married, and, you know, I just have gotten used to the fact that there are certain things that you just don't get from Bob.
I want to offer my help. That's really what I like. I like that because I get a sense that, hey, you know, by golly, she needed me and I was there for her. But just listening, I mean, I don't understand how that can help. That is beyond me.
If it's about something real important and I know it's real important to her, I will listen. I will.
It should be selective. Well, obviously this isn't important to her, so I just won't listen to this today. I just feel like you don't care about what I have to say. So why should I care about what you have to say?
That your wives are too emotional, or when there's a rift they don't talk at all?
Too emotional. Too emotional. Too emotional. Too emotional.
She got very, very emotional at a party to the point where she cried. And, like, to me, that's like, you know, I mean, no offense, Ann, but, like, to me, that's like, oh, God, a fly landed on me, and I
But,
start
hon,
crying.
I was hurt
I mean, hold it a minute.
by the fact that you didn't respond to
I don't believe that what she said...
Bob, that doesn't matter. The fact was, is your wife was upset. You didn't respond.
What would you
didn't
have
know
liked me to say?
You know, anything. You know what? Hands on the arm. Don't let people get you down. That's all. Huh? Just that. That would have been enough.
It's hard. It's a long walk from here to 6 feet over, especially when you know, and this is the toughest thing, that you know in your own eyes, it's bull.
It's not that big of an issue, but you'll turn it into a bigger issue than it is.
But that's your opinion. You're saying that my feelings are invalid.
When I'm upset about something, I'm oversensitive. That's always a good one. I'm very
Turns it
oversensitive.
around on you.
Right, right. And I shouldn't be that upset. And it just really gets me because, you know, once in a while he does cause me to be upset fully, you know, unconditionally.
I'm married to an attorney who's a prosecutor, so I never win a fight, guys. I don't know about you. If I think I'm gonna win one, it changes. You know, I'm having a lot of problems with my car, right?
We're not buying a new car.
Who's saying I'm buying a new car? I'm gonna exchange my car. Exchanging it. Okay? I'm not giving a penny more. It's not gonna cost me a lot more.
Eve, let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
No, you always want to buy a new car.
I always want to buy a new
This
car.
car is 2 years old.
It's 2 years and 4 months old. It has 64,000 miles in there.
What kind of car?
It's a BMW.
You think you're funny. You must think I'm an idiot.
I'm not funny at all. I'm serious.
You ruined my dinner. You just sprang this thing on me.
I ruined your dinner?
Yes. Now I can't even eat. You're gonna try to pull a new car. We just bought a house, for Pete's sakes.
It's not a new car.
Before Christmas, the only thing I heard from you is I spent too much money.
Too much money.
You're always siding with your mother, huh?
W and money.
That's right.
When we fight, I'll go into another room. I'll start walking from room to room to avoid the argument and stop it from going. The last place I end up is in the bathroom. Shut the bathroom door, turn on the shower. She'll keep going, and she'll keep trying to push buttons with me. And then I know what she's doing, so I just don't say anything back to her.
I get into rages, and
Mind you, she does. Big
I
time.
do. I threw a dinner plate at him once with food.
A
on
dinner
it.
plate, that's like saying, well, I took a pin and I threw it at the person, but really he shot a .357 Magnum at the guy's head.
I threw a dinner plate at you. It was meatloaf.
Your rages go crazy. You just freak out.
I think we go in cycles, and the resentment builds up, and I tend to blow. But then he can never win an argument with Bob anyway. So it's almost a point where you just blow just to release your own valve, and then you just get on with your life.
You don't like to talk about things rationally very frequently. Your strengths are overbearing, you know, completely annihilate the enemy. I'd love to discuss things rationally, but unfortunately that doesn't happen very often, so, you know, I shut down.
Where's the sign?
Right there. See what it says? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Dad.
Yeah. The incident we had the other night with my husband's birthday, and the night before I'll be home early, you know, because we're going to have this party with the kids and everything.
Is that here?
No. I mean, I already knew in the back of my mind that he's going to blow it. He's gonna blow it. Since I don't have any idea when Daddy's gonna get home, we're just gonna eat it out. So at 5 o'clock, the phone should have rang. I'm not gonna be there. Because we didn't even eat dinner till 6.
That's probably really
No, you are not getting cake until Daddy's home.
Oh my!
He didn't even call until he was beyond his even normal time being home, and then wasn't going to be home, till 8 o'clock at night. I mean, the kids go to bed at 8:30. I thought that was a problem. Hello? Yeah. Oh, I'll be home early tonight. Oh, Pat, save it. There was a definite communication problem there because he just couldn't understand. Well, I ended up not being able to come home early. I don't understand what the big deal is. And I really was livid.
Daddy, open one of your presents! Daddy, open one of your presents! Daddy! Dad! I'm going to tell you what it is!
Wait, let him take his coat off.
Get ready.
Everybody ready? Start blowing. 1, 2, 3.
Good job.
You don't call when it's 7:15. It's so late and you're supposed to be home early. You don't think that's so rude? It's unbelievable? Huh? Pat, the question is, don't you think that is so rude to do to somebody, including me? So that's what you're saying is you have absolutely no respect for me, that you just continue to do this in light of what we're doing right now, huh? Hey, all right. Put it down. Put it down.
Why does Sam always yell?
No, why do you have to cause such a ruckus? Sit.
Sit right here, sweetie.
We're planning on this party all day long. Now, I have every right to leave you, Pat. I'm sick and tired of cold and crappy. What is wrong with you?
She's said a couple times that I'm just going to move out and get my own place. And I begged her, told her I'd make whatever changes I needed to in order to change our relationship. And, I didn't really know and didn't understand what it was I needed to do in order to affect that, though.
Well, as you see, relationships are a struggle, and sometimes we all need a little help. When we continue, you'll see what advice John Gray, the author who wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, has to offer. And later we'll see if his advice helps the couples we're following tonight.
In January, we received an invitation from ABC to go see John Gray give a lecture on relationships, and we were really thrilled about that.
I frankly reluctantly went. Like everything else in my relationship, I allowed my wife to lead me along.
I didn't know what to expect. I had my doubts.
Thank you. Man comes home from work. Where does he head? Okay. I left work. I did my job. Now I get my reward. There can be clutter everywhere, and we don't even see it. And women, you see it everywhere. When a woman comes home from work, she can't just relax. She feels overwhelmed. This has to be done, and this has to be done, and this has to be done. Then the next symptom is, I can't do it all. And ironically, because she's not coping with stress, when she's tired, what does she plan on doing? What she does is she finds a heavy box that needs to be moved. And she gets it, lots of sound effects. No effect over there. See, women don't want to boss around. They don't want to ask you to do things. They just, if you want to do it, then do it. On Venus, you didn't have to ask. All Venusians have little antennas. They're always thinking, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? And then you come be with a Martian, and you can't figure out what's going on. You're giving and giving and giving, and he's watching TV still. I've been married now 12 years, and when my wife puts the trash can in the kitchen out, I see it. Empty the trash, honey. And wisely, this is called an advanced relationship skill. Wisely, she says, Oh, thank you. Women realize that for men, the fuel that stimulates them more than sex is to feel that they make a difference in your life. It's about making you happy. And the greatest gift you can give to a man is to let him know when he does succeed by taking the time to acknowledge, oh, John, you emptied the trash, thanks. Oh, John, you helped with this, thanks. What is the biggest conflict between men and women? Man gets close, man pulls away. And when he pulls away, wants to go for his drive or wants to go watch TV, she's wondering, why doesn't he want to spend time with me? Doesn't he care about me? Doesn't he love me? Well, we'll start to realize, women, that anything that a Venusian would consider to be a waste of time is fun for a Martian. And anything which is fun for a Martian is one of the most potent therapeutic tools for him to cope with the stress of his life. See, whenever a Martian has stress, on Mars, we go to our cave. This is our cave. This is our territory. Nobody can tell me what to do. The problem is women don't understand it's healthy and normal for men to do this, and this is what they need to do. Then you punish him for going into the cave. Let him have his space. Don't take it personally. And if you don't go in, he'll come out. He gets lonely in there. What helps women cope with stress? If a woman can come home and tell you in great detail everything which is stressing her out, and you feel compassionate for her, I can't believe that happened. Really? That bad? Yeah, oh God. Shake your head. And as she talks about what's bothering her, she's doing this ancient, very important Venusian ritual, which is, if I can remember and share with somebody who loves me all that went on in my day, then miraculously, then I can let go of it. And then you say something like, gee, how's your day? What happened? Nothing. And he thinks, oh, okay, nothing happened? Great, I'll go back and watch TV. All I gotta do is great. You gotta know the translation, Venusian language. When she says nothing, it means something. And she means that, oh, nothing's the matter unless you really love me. Because if you really cared, you would stand here, be concerned, and ask me questions. How many women can relate to that little translation? Absolutely. See, to a woman, it's completely obvious. One of the number one messages you hear is, I feel neglected. I feel ignored. I'm not special. And when a woman stops feeling special, men, you're going to suffer. One of the biggest mistakes we make. Woman gets upset, the first thing we do is explain to her why she shouldn't be upset. All she hears is, you're telling me I'm wrong for being disappointed. You're telling me I'm wrong for being angry at you. You're telling me I shouldn't be feeling what I'm feeling. And that is the biggest mistake. That is the biggest mistake we make. This is the real test, men. She'll say something like, well, what do I do? That's where you have to go, I don't know. Then she just keeps talking. Then she goes on and on. See, women say that. It's rhetorical. They don't want you to solve it. The fact that you don't have a solution validates that it's an unsolvable problem. What you do, women, when you see he's really getting frustrated and antsy, you have compassion. And take a moment, women, to appreciate him for it. And then a guy goes, okay, I can go another 3 minutes. It's like he needs to get the message that he can make a difference. Because in their mind, they're doing nothing. As you begin to understand Venusians, you realize you're doing probably the most important thing women want us to do today. What they need us most for is to help them cope with the stress of being so independent and autonomous. And the way to do that is this communication. When we don't understand the opposite sex, we start to feel powerless. And when we feel powerless, then we start feeling and behaving like children. And every time you're having an argument and fight, you're behaving like kids. Time out is the most important technique. Time out and then come back and make up. Time out, come back and make up. And men instinctively have a timeout mechanism. Argument's not working, men just walk away. And what do women do? They bait him back. You're leaving, I know it, you're leaving, you don't love me, do you? You know? Well, why did you do that? And it baits him back in the talking, and it makes it worse. If he doesn't walk away, there's only one other thing to do. Fight. And the mistake we make as men is to ever fight with our wives. What women have to learn is don't pursue him, leave him alone, let him go off if he goes off. He'll come back. He needs to go off and cool off. I couldn't understand my wife in the beginning. Because I'd say, oh, sorry, I'm sorry, why isn't that enough? And she'd say, when you say you're sorry, you don't feel bad enough when you say it. So what you say to her is, honey, I can understand why you're upset with me. Truth is, I was very inconsiderate. You know what I did? It was really insensitive. I overreacted. I got really mad at you, and I'm sorry. I was really mean. I love you. She's so vulnerable. He's so defenseless. How can I keep punishing him like this? Sometimes even that doesn't work. Then you know, resentment flu has taken over. And this is what men have to learn. You can do everything right, but if she's got resentment flu, she does not have the ability to love you at that time. And what keeps her from feeling those feelings is stress. I feel overwhelmed. I feel exhausted. I'm giving and giving and giving, and I'm not getting anything in return. But what do you do when somebody's got the flu? You say, okay, you rest more. Let me do things for you. The problem is when women are feeling resentment, they don't want you to be successful. You get into this sort of thing of, I'm not going to let you sweep me off my feet that easily. You have to pay for it. The greatest gift you can give to a woman is to continually give her what she needs when she has nothing to give back. That's how women grow in love for men. You got to realize, so many times, women, you'll say to your husbands, you're not romantic anymore. There's no romance in our relationship. And you have to realize, this guy goes, what does she mean? What is she talking about? I'll have sex with her. He just doesn't get the whole idea of romance. Romance is something that allows a woman to enjoy great sex. And what is that romance? Whenever you do anything for a woman that she would appreciate without her having to ask, it's romance. Occasionally when I'm thinking about sex tonight, I'll go check, is the trash need to be empty? It doesn't work for a woman to say, would you go buy me flowers? He goes and buys flowers, and what happens? He brings them home. So what? I had to ask. It doesn't count. Well, my wife, when I forget to do it, and she wants them, you know what she does? She puts that little vases by the door. Empty vases. I get the hand. Oh, flower time. And that's her being responsible to help me be successful. Anytime you as a man show that you're caring, you notice, you pay attention, and you notice a woman's needs, it says to her, he cares. That's all. That wins her over. And more importantly, affection. Anytime you touch a woman, you get a point. Every day, a woman needs to be touched 10 times in a non-sexual way. Because instinctively, men need formulas. Men will say to me, they say, hey, can you get the whole touching thing in one, like 10 times? 1, 2, 3. No, it doesn't matter whether it's long touching, short touching. Women thrive on affection. It's the little things that count, not the big things. We're going to take a little break now, and we come back. There's some couples that we've already selected, and we're going to have a little panel on stage here. Because people like to ask questions.
Right after the break, John Gray asked 6 of us to come up onto the stage and ask some questions.
Could you convince my husband that it is a Martian thing to take the trash out? Because I've conceded on that in our household.
Go ahead, there's logic. Go ahead. There's always logic.
I try to do the little things that you asked me to do.
I just don't want to do the trash.
I just don't want to do the trash.
Okay. I can understand that. And that makes sense to me. Doesn't it make sense to you?
And honey, I know how important it is for me to take out the trash, so I understand how you feel. And from now on, I'll take out the trash, dear.
Wait. How many men think this guy was being condescending? Raise your hands. Okay. We got some saints out there. Now, this is where you have to look at things, women. This man just committed to do something that you want. And if your reaction is, yeah, but you didn't do it with the right tone of voice, forget it.
It's a small step. How about that? It's a first step. How, you know?
That's what you have to know. Never challenge a man's attitude. Challenge his behavior.
With women, it's like they talk about the same mute point for 25 minutes. I mean, the listening never ends.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Now, how many men know what he means? Okay. Now, how many women started turning off to this wonderful guy as soon as he said mute point? See? It's the language. You just totally insulted all the women in the room.
Sorry.
Nice. What were you?
Pardon me?
Sorry, I was.
I was very insensitive.
See, men think, what's the point? What do you want me to do about this? Why are you telling me this? Why are we going over it again and again and again? The reason she's sharing it with you is that she's missing something in her life. And what is she missing?
It's the compassion, the feeling, the emotion, the showing of affection.
Nicely said. And I'm going to tell you a story. Here I am. My wife is complaining there's no romance. So, okay, we need to schedule a romantic getaway. The day comes. I looked at her, I said, well, honey, aren't you excited about going to Sedona? And she goes, I don't know. Sometimes I feel my life is a long, slow torture. Now here I am feeling like I'm Mr. Wonderful. I've got this vacation plan. And my wife feels like her life is a long, slow torture. What does that mean about me? That means everything I've done is not seen, is not appreciated, is not acknowledged. I'm a big zero. I said, just contain. Think. What are you supposed to do here? Empathize. So I looked at her and I said, I know just what you mean. Sometimes I feel like they're squeezing the life force out of me, drip by drip by drip. And when I went down, my wife went right with me. She said, yes, he's right here with me. I'm not alone. So she's feeling that. And I'm over here feeling, okay, I'm not going up till she goes up. But I'm going to hang in here. And she goes like this. I can't wait to go to Sedona. And my reaction is, I did that. Okay.
I couldn't even fathom sitting and discussing why she's bummed out and dragged out.
Wait, this is what you have to understand about women. For a woman to enjoy, she needs to release the stress. Then she can go, I can't wait to get to Sedona.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, well, no, I don't want to go. You know, I'm just...
You want passion? You want great sex? You've got to endure suffering. Not all the time, but for maybe 20.
Oh, I do.
No, you do it because you don't do it the right way. It ends if you do it the right way. There is an end to it, but when you have that attitude, it doesn't end. Well, what can you do about it?
Just sympathize, even if you don't understand or can't even think about what it could be. Fake it.
Fake it, that's right. Good technique. When I mean fake it, I mean talk from your head and not your gut reactions. Gut reactions are important. You got to follow your gut reactions, but you follow your gut reactions only when your mind says they make sense and your heart says it's the right thing to do.
I have a scenario where if the woman has resentment flu and she's trying to cure the flu by clearly articulating and telling her husband what he can do to help her get over this flu, and he just doesn't hear or he doesn't listen or he doesn't want to hear. What are your suggestions as to how she can reach him so that he can listen and hear and I guess carry out what she's asking for?
Let's all take a deep breath. Now, in your language, that was fine. But the way that gets translation into Martian is a man hears that and he goes, you know, no matter what I do, it doesn't work. Now, maybe you don't want to make it work the way you think he should make it work. And whenever you tell a man the way he should do it, you've just stepped over a boundary, and you're no longer lovers, you're no longer partners, you're a parent.
You're my mother.
You're my mother. And whenever you become a mother, one level is you've just killed the romance. And this is the responsibility of women. You can't have passion from your side or from his side if you mother him. This is your side of it. And to learn to communicate to him your needs in a non-mothering way, but in a way that says, this is the man you married. I want you to tell her, I'm the man you married. Oh, here, use the microphone.
I'm the man you married.
I want you to remember, I'm a great guy.
I'm a great guy.
I made a lot of mistakes in our relationship.
More than a lot.
And I'm learning.
And I'm learning.
Say
what
that
did
again.
I do wrong? My God.
She says that's the problem. You see, what happens to a man is after a while, when he sees his wife's not happy, what you're saying with your eyes is you did the wrong thing.
I'm very happy.
She's what?
I think you're extremely happy.
Am I?
Yes, you are.
All right.
Yes, you are.
Here we are coming from different worlds. Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you, why would you say you've made a lot of mistakes if you thought she was really, really happy?
That's your show.
Okay, I'm going to take you further with this. Are you extremely happy?
Sometimes I'm extremely happy, but when he does the little things...
Because you do the little things sometimes so right.
Okay, because you...
This is Martian. See, this is Martian.
Well, my own response is you shouldn't concentrate on the big things because I think a lot of little things would make me happier than the big things.
Yes. Women clap right now. They all felt it. I felt it. Hold on. You hear that? It's not just your wife talking. You can't argue with this. It's all women on this planet. The little things mean more than the big things. But the big things also count. But you've got an attitude that says, hey, I did so much. I'm a star, sweetheart. You ought to be grateful for what you got.
No. Yeah.
I can see it on you right now. Yes. Now, and you have a right to feel, hey, I'm doing all this wonderful stuff. I should be appreciated. But you're dense in one area. You're not getting, for me to feel my love for you, sweetheart, I need attentiveness. I need you to be empathetic sometimes. When I'm upset, I don't need you to look at me like, what kind of a woman would be this unhappy about the trash when you got enough money to have trash? See, you relate to what I'm saying?
Yes, I do, absolutely.
There's a lot of things we did not talk about, okay? We didn't talk about sex.
No, we can't talk about sex.
Oh, we can't. Okay.
Until you take a few steps to helping them. Always the bedroom comes after outside the bedroom.
Okay, that's something I'd love to talk about.
Yes, that's step 2.
I feel like my house is sexless for some reason. Oh, it's getting worse and worse. Okay?
It's important. Sex is very important, and it's very important to men. And women can't respond until they feel heard. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
Everything, you can't start the engine unless you put gas in it. And the gas is everything we've been focusing on tonight. The little things, the communication. You feel that if he was to do some of those things, it might make you feel more romantically inclined?
Absolutely, and I've told him that.
You don't have to say that, I told you that. But never like that.
There you go.
You do it like, absolutely, honey, I'd sure love to do that. You see? Just let him be the guy who just did something. Go ahead. Just that.
Okay, honey, it's a first step in the right direction, and if you continue in that direction, I will definitely feel more romantic.
Right, and I'm no longer going to punish you. You're out of jail.
Okay.
Your sentence is over.
Well, if you help me...
No. No. Punishment has never rehabilitated anybody. As you let a man off the hook, you give him love. See how happy he is?
Well, he wants to be let out of jail.
That's right. Every man does. You have to know this, women. See, you're not fully getting it. But I know all the women watching you are getting it.
Well, I think that I was punishing him. I'll admit that.
Does he deserve to be punished?
Sometimes.
See, that's you're missing the point.
But I'm being honest.
I know, but I'm telling you, that's the point. If you punish him, you will get nothing. Punishment keeps men from learning to feel. When you forgive a man, he feels love. When a man feels loving, he's more caring. He corrects his behavior. In little steps. But to correct a behavior, he does need understanding. And that's what we're doing here tonight. That's what all of you are doing here tonight.
You know, when I first met him, he talked with John Gray. John Gray's seminar was Friday night.
And then the next day we had the workshop.
Even Marie had sex. He's out of jail.
Who else had sex? I think Bob and Sandy had sex.
You guys don't?
Did you guys have sex? That's what we really want to know.
This actually really worked for us last night because on our way here, Mike and I were ready to kill each other.
It's going to be tough for me to sit there and listen to my wife talk.
We were like, that's it, we're getting a divorce. That's it, we're getting a divorce, you know. And on the way back, we were like, I think we need to work on this a little bit more. I think we're workable, definitely workable.
One of the things that we're going to learn during the course of the day today.
We worked with one of his assistants, Michael Nigerian, and it was an all-day session.
50% of marriages in a divorce first time around, 60% second time around. Today, you can make a difference.
Anybody need a partner over here?
Throughout the course of the day, we learned a lot of different things about communicating with each other and learning how to listen to what the other person is saying.
Without having to say, I love you, I appreciate you, you're important to me. Just looking at me when you're talking to me says all that.
I was actually very impressed that you looked like you were actually listening to me.
John says men are like rubber bands. This is what guys do. They pull away and they come back. They pull away. This is our cycle of intimacy. You want him to come back? Stay right where you are. He'll come back.
When we were finished with the workshop, ABC encouraged us to keep using the skills we'd learned, put it into our everyday life, and see if it would help.
A month later, ABC then came back to visit with us and find out if there had been any changes in our relationships.
I don't know one person that hasn't been able to say, hey, that's me.
It was absolutely me he was talking about.
When he said that when women feel overwhelmed, they just do more. My husband looked at me like, yeah, that's you.
After the show, I realized, like, it wasn't only me. I realized, like, most men or most women act the same way.
Before the seminar, I'm mad at Bob because of the things that Bob does because he's Bob. Then you realize that Bob is not doing these things because he's Bob. He's doing these things because he's a Martian.
A man.
How can you be mad at a man for being a man?
It's funny that John Gray does call it the Martians and Venusians. We are that different, like we are from different planets.
It's not politically correct, really, nowadays, to think that men and women are different. That does a complete disservice, I think, to what is truly the case. They are different. And once you come to that conclusion, boy, it doesn't seem like it's maybe a problem after all. You just kind of move around it.
Sometimes I get frustrated because I think, God, am I just a person that gets like excited when the light bulbs are changed and the garbage is taken out? As silly as it is, as silly as I might think that it is, I come back to the same thing, which is, yeah.
He never wipes the table. He's just
what
doing this
what
for
happened
you.
when Nelson came over and I was...
Mike, you never wipe the table.
No, I have
That's
to
like
now,
a
'cause
classic joke right there. He's doing a good job because you're here, but I would say 60-40.
That's definitely an improvement from 75-25.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's an improvement. My ideal situation would always be that it'd be 50-50. And there's no reason why I can't go for that goal.
My wife just gave me a list of things to do to help the family here. Assist in the dry cleaning. Okay. Clean the fish tank. I will do. Clean your bathroom. I will do.
I came home, and this man cleaned up the whole house. Cleaned all the windows, cleaned the sliding door. He vacuumed. That was a miracle.
Yeah, I got kisses all over the place. I got points. I got she's like, oh, yeah, I love you. Look at the house. This house is so clean, you know. You have 2 speeds there, right?
It's something I have to really learn to do, to really show my appreciation.
Look where you're going.
But it's tough. We've been married 6 years, and we've already got our song and dance going. Now we have to learn new steps.
Sometimes he'll say to me, okay, out of all the things that I've done in the house, what's the best thing I've done so far? I mean, it's like,
So what is the best thing?
The shelves. The shelves are the best.
In the closet.
In the pantry.
Yeah,
but see what I mean? He still wants this recognition. And I just give it to him. I know he needs it and stuff.
Throws me a cube of sugar. Look.
Yeah.
Good boy.
And Pat's been taking the trash out.
Well, Kathy's done some things around here that really help me. I've seen the trash pulled out away from the wall there so that it's kind of obvious it's in the middle of the floor. Oh, need to empty the trash. Now, I would never have done that before. Now, mind you, this isn't something I do because I necessarily like it cleaned up. It's not that important to me, but I don't mind doing it. If it took you 5 minutes to avoid maybe 2 hours or a half a day worth of bitterness, gosh, that's the best 5 minutes I spent. So I usually try to do things like this, and typically she'll acknowledge that. I mean, I don't think she used to. Well, she didn't used to because I didn't clean it. It is, a demonstration of my caring for her, my love for her. So it is exactly that. It's just that I guess I never would have thought of it that way before. Hang it up in the closet?
I can't believe he actually picked up the family room,
Do
too.
you want to put these on the steps?
I mean, the kitchen was one thing.
Let's go up in your room.
But that you would actually do both?
Yeah, it does to me, too.
No, it made me feel like, God, what a great guy he is.
I don't know about you guys, but I found myself watching a lot less TV now than I used to. Is that just me, or?
Yeah, I even gave my wife the remote.
I do that. I don't believe I'm doing this.
I guess the thing with the cave was that I used to maybe take it personal he was down there all the time. Now I don't. There's no reason to. In fact, I welcome it when he goes down there, because then the rest of the house becomes my cave.
If I go in and I want to watch television because I want to withdraw, Diane is definitely more sensitive to that. She's not fighting for my attention. Whether she agrees with it or not, it's a whole other story.
I don't necessarily agree that that's the way one should be. I think it's rude, and I try to be considerate because he probably needs it. And I'm not going to just say that I accept that his little weakness should have whatever he wants. No, it's my time. This is a marriage. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No.
Well, that's fine. Whatever, that's your shortcoming as a human being that you don't understand.
But you shouldn't look at it as a shortcoming.
It is, Bruce, because come on, honey, it's a TV set.
No,
it's
but you're not accepting of the fact that there's a withdrawal there.
All this is asking women, once again, to take the high road. And that bothers me. Now I have to suppress, I have to sacrifice, got to keep it in. And when he's ready, I have to be ready too.
Wait a second, I want to say something on this. We're expecting the men to do the John Gray thing, but it sounds like some of us are not willing to do the John Gray thing on them.
Sometimes I can't do John Gray.
But that's what marriage is. I mean,
But it still seems rude to me. I don't get a cave.
They sometimes have to sort of listen to us when we want to vent, and they do our John Gray thing.
That's what human beings should do when they're in love and they're married.
But Kathy, you think that because you're a Venusian.
If you love me, I expect certain things from you. You need to know what I like and try to do it, because I think that I know what you like and I go out of my way to do what you like.
You just said I know what his expectations are and I do everything to please him. He wants to be in his cave and not be bothered by you, and you're not doing that.
Whether it's turning on the TV or running away, we can use this so we can deal with it so I don't get so resentful. But the reality is, I still think it's wrong and it's not very nice.
I've been practicing a lot, and my wife has also, but I think she does have that resentment flu that she keeps throwing at me all the time. But I'm working on it. Who turned off the TV set?
I did.
Why?
Because people are here.
Maybe I'm watching the Knicks, baby.
Who cares what you're watching? When we started, Eve did something this morning that annoys me every single time we have something to do. He thinks he's separate and apart from the rest of the family. He was walking out the door. I said, Eve, stop. I chased you from this door saying, I need your help. I need your help. And you just walked out on me, and then you slammed the door on top of it.
Stop chasing me.
No, I'm going to chase you. I want you to stop and help me get Eve ready.
Okay. All right, baby, all right.
No, don't all right me, Eve. You know that I'm angry, and you know if you wanted to get this day off to a good start...
Between you and I don't know why you're so angry.
Eve practices John Gray when he wants to. He's not consistent.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. How was it the last 3 weeks?
Well, you
today?
helped a little bit.
Excuse me.
So just because you were good last 3 weeks, you can act up today? Eve, don't even try it, all right?
She acts tough, but she's not that tough. She's very sweet. She's extremely sweet. Because I've done many things that she would have said, oh, okay, I had enough with you. That's it. It's over. And she hung in there.
There's these bricks going up, and now there's this wall, and for me to get across there, I have to yell over the wall. I can't say, oh, sweetheart. I can't.
I think I'm trying very hard to practice what John Gray is saying, what John Gray is doing.
You don't think I'm not hungry?
I don't think so. And that's not the first time I said that too. You know what you need? You need advanced John Gray. And things will get better, not worse. You know, because we have something to carry us further now, not backwards. So
I'm very demanding. He's been doing John Gray. I would have never expected him to do that. I'm probably expecting too much from him, too quickly.
She emotionally wrecks herself out because she can't lighten up her
defending
tough.
her because
You're right. I probably need to lighten up.
The scary thing is what this teaches us is that even if you decide that he's not going to meet your expectations and you throw him back into the pool, the next one you're going to get is going to have his cave and it's going to treat you exactly the same.
Women have a more important role in society now. We have more self-worth. And so whether you stay home or you go to work, we view ourselves differently. And that puts stress on a marriage because right now we don't need them to be breadwinners necessarily. And so men don't really know how to feel important to us anymore. And they have to recognize that what makes them feel important is their sensitive side, their willingness to be emotional, to share their inner self with us.
Since the beginning of our relationship, if there's ever been one issue, it's always been, well, I wish you could communicate with my soul more. And I don't think I fully understood the goal. And the goal was to take your relationship to another level where it's actually much more fun than you could have originally imagined. And so then the means becomes worthwhile.
I don't want someone to sit there and just put up with me because, you know, I have this little problem. I'm a girl and everything like that. But if that's how he's going to do it, I guess in the end, that's okay. That's okay.
In the past, I would definitely be the type of person that wouldn't listen, let her know I wasn't listening, and couldn't care less. Now, you know, it's different.
We recently had a situation with a friend that upset me, and he listened to me, and he didn't step in and try and tell me what to do about it. He just listened.
To tell you the truth, it makes my life a lot easier, you know, because I'd rather just not have to get involved.
There's about 5 things you have to remember to do when you're listening. First, you have to learn to keep your mouth shut or say, you know, supportive things like, yeah, you're right, I know, yeah, that's true. And then you've got to keep eye contact. You've also got to remember not to say, you know, well, this is what you should do, and not to watch TV or read a book or look off into space. Those are a lot of things to remember, you know, and that's just one thing, listening. After a while, I guess it gets easier, but at first, you know, it's not as easy as it.
You've never done it before.
Right.
That's why.
You're using muscles that you haven't exercised. I'm her husband, and unless I'm there for her, she's going to feel like she has to go somewhere else for it. And I'm going to become nothing more than somebody who brings home a paycheck to provide for food on the table and clothes on the backs. You know, I can't let that happen.
My vacation was a complete flop. I mean, it was the worst. My grandmother had a stroke. She broke her shoulder. Maddie had an ear infection, was throwing up all over the place, wasn't able to travel. It rained in Disney World. My sister was sent to the emergency room. I called. I left him a message. And he called me back, and you said, I just wish I could be there and hold you right now and put my arms around you. Do you remember saying that? That made my whole day.
Her voice was like, right away, her trip wasn't as bad as it just was like 2 seconds before I said it, right?
Yeah. I was.
I told you how much I missed you.
Yes, that was the other thing. That was really nice. I feel better after talking to him. It was great. It was wonderful.
And she never usually feels good after talking to you.
Empathy is big on my list when I feel it's appropriate. I mean, this is a bad issue right now.
Actually, I think it's a very good one.
Well, I mean, I do try to listen.
The only thing that we seem to have an issue with still, and I'll continue to say it, and I was upset about recently, is how we speak to each other. He'll start yelling at me and calling me names because his tolerance is very limited these days from work.
If we say things, it's because, that's the spur of the moment. There are things said on both ends. Okay, it's not just me. Okay. It's tough to control and not fight all the time.
Our son should not be hearing things like that.
In many ways, I see it like you just started a new job. And you're going to be evaluated as you go along.
Absolutely.
And you want to do well, and you got to really focus on it. This is a serious thing. You can get fired.
What I got from this whole experience was if you make your wife happier, you're happier, and as a result, your sex life is better. And I think that is definitely true. Is our sex life better? Absolutely.
I agree with that. The sex will come with doing all those other things.
And now I'm more sensitive to what I have to do in order to make sure I'm going to get a yes.
First, you got to get comfortable with the cuddling, and it could take a couple months just to get, oh God, you want me to sit here for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or maybe 20 minutes doing nothing but sitting here and kissing, But I know that what I really want out of this is not that, and I'm not going to get it, and I'm going to waste 20 minutes.
He comes up, I love it. He comes up to me and just gives me a hug or, just touches my arm, gives me a rub. And he knows I just love this. And he's been so giving.
I never knew that little thing could set her off, properly for the whole night. I come down, she's all smiley and happy, and it works.
There's a validation.
And I feel good about it too. It's not like I'm saying, oh, I got to do this. I feel kind of good to see her, being happy. Do I practice saying I love you? I've said it at least twice. I'm baby stepping my way to that. I think I've improved.
I remember one time. I don't remember the second time. But
I remember twice because I'm counting.
He still hasn't brought home flowers.
I'm working on getting flowers.
What are you, growing them? I mean,
yes. I feel the John Gray seminar, to learn it, is very, very simple and mostly common sense. Find out what your partner's wants and needs are, and you both address them to each other. Makes total sense to me.
I don't think John Gray would work for somebody whose relationship is really teetering on the edge. I really don't, because I don't think at that point people really care what the other one's wants and needs are. They're so tied up in what their own wants and needs are.
So Daddy sent me a card that says, to tell you how much I love you, how much I need you, and how much you mean to me. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't in an envelope. He actually let it go through the mail. I was really impressed about that.
Well, I didn't think anybody else who knew me would see that. So.
The last time the group all got together was for a party that ABC held for us in July. It was hard to believe that 8 months had gone by since the process started, but it had.
And the last time we saw each other was 5 months earlier. So it was nice to see the boys and to see the ladies.
It's like a bond that was made. These people were like family.
Everyone was talking about all the things that we had done throughout the 5 months.
Got a chance to get back together and find out how everybody was doing and how the relationships were going.
They help her out more with the baby, which was a big concern about hers. True. And I do help more around the house and cleaning area. But as far as doing the John Gray touching and feeling,
the intimacy,
it's a lot of work. Did I bring you flowers?
No flowers.
We had flowers on the table. I didn't bring you flowers?
What flowers? My birthday came by? No flowers. My anniversary came by? No flowers. No flowers.
I remember I bought you flowers. No, because a few times I...
The answer is no.
No.
The quality of our relationship has really picked up dramatically.
I've enjoyed some of his tips. You know, those silly little things. They actually can prevent major stress.
I have learned definitely to appreciate Sandra a lot more. Of course, you always look at other women, but then again, you look at what you have and you say, no one's going to have what she has. No one's going to do what she's done.
I've seen myself doing like a lot more work around the house, like pleasing her. I think she's happier since after John Gray. I really do. Do you feel that way? Like I'm doing much than I used to? Come on.
I think progress has been made. You understand a little bit more. At least you try to.
Initially, we were focusing on the issues that were for a while, but the longer it went, we started getting away from it.
I feel that you've slipped a lot lately.
Okay, if you want to use the word slip, if you want to use the word slip, then we can use the word slip, but I've definitely curved the sports issue.
He's curved the sports issue a little.
Absolutely.
I mean, I can tell just looking at Pat that he's happy to come home instead of like, oh God, I'm home. What kind of, hell is going to break loose now?
The lack of communication is not a problem anymore. I can honestly say that I'm more in love with Kathy today than when we started this.
Before I started this, I thought I had a perfect marriage. If it wasn't broken, don't fix it. But you could improve on everything.
We don't know if what we've shown tonight will be helpful to anyone else. We hope so. But we do know that all the couples who opened their lives to us were very brave and very honest. We thank them. And we thank you for watching. I'm Barbara Walters. Good night.
Mars has got these football tickets, and Venus has got the idea that we can have the romantic day together. Now, just one little twist. I want you to be the Martian, and I want you to be the Venusian. Okay?
Okay. Dear, I can't wait till this evening. It's going to be so great. We're going to be able to go out, share, have a great night together.
You're not going to believe what happened today.
What?
My friend got these tickets to go see the playoffs. So I told him yes.
You told him what?
I told him it'd be okay.
I must mean nothing to you.
Don't you understand?
Well,
it's a man thing.
You just don't care about my feelings.
I can solve this. Let's go upstairs.
That's all you ever think about is sex.